Right, okay, so I think we're live. Just let me make sure that we're live. I'll hit the test over here and I will hit refresh. Over here, and we're going to go into the live stream itself. Excellent, and I hit test and just make sure that it's all working. Yep, and the test pops up, and I will do the usual share of the link as well. So share and share that to Twitter. Selenium live stream, and then hashtag Python programming, and hashtag Python without the programming. Right, so we're now streaming live, and what I'm going to do is, or what I'm going to show is some code basically that I had. And this is this is Selenium, and it's kind of like I took it out of the documentation basically. But this is how Selenium used to work. Let me just move this sidebar out of the way and Control plus it so that it's a little bit bigger. So this is how Selenium used to work, and you import the WebDriver, then you do the WebDriver Chrome services, and then if you didn't want to have to do this chromedriver manager, then you could just kind of like run it, but you needed to point somewhere. So like this service equals service required a path to a file, but this chromedriver manager was a way to automate that, because every time chromedriver got updated, you would need to automate it. And this basically comes straight out of the documentation, which is kind of like, you know, down here effectively. This one hasn't got the chromedriver manager, but if I actually do take this piece of code, because I think I did. So you, in theory, you should be able to copy this piece of code and run it. So I'll do a copy here, and I will go here and go. I think, in fact, I've even attempted to do it in a way because I've done it there already. If this was empty without the chromedriver manager, so imagine that this wasn't there. In fact, I can just close the brackets there and sort of like comment it out. So imagine that wasn't there and that this wasn't, so this is no longer actually used. We can see that it's grayed out. When we try to run our code, so we're just doing like our first example, and this was effectively a copy and paste of what was on the what was in the example documentation. So you want your documentation to kind of like work. If I hit F5 on this to try and run it, it throws this error message, and you can go along and kind of like look up this error message over here on the Chromium side. So like paste this error message into here, and it'll take you to like Stack Overflow and all the other bits, and then you start navigating around and looking around for all of the different bits and bobs and all of the multitude of answers. And actually this is one of the answers that you get, and this one used to work. This is dated 2018, so this no longer works. Show formal comments. This no longer works. There we go. Just post this little comment in there, and so that's it. So that's that. That was that comment, but which basically the reason I said this no longer works is because if we go over here, we can actually attempt to do that, which is just basically, if I can get rid of that over there, we should be able just to put in the chromedriver manager.install, and that should make it work. So we try to run that again, fixing what we think is an error message. So we've gone and done the new imports and so forth, and we just get another error message. So different one, value error. I think it's a different one. Let's go back in and let's have a look. Over here, yeah, the execute needs to be available in path. Does he throw the actual, yeah, so this was a WebDriver exception message, and now we've got a different message here, which is this one here. And again, we have to go back to Stack Overflow, and I just wonder if 1 week ago this code was working fine, the error starts. There we go. So you've actually got the error message, and your problem is that chromedriver manager.install will get the latest chromedriver version, in my case this, blah blah blah, latest chromedriver solution, and so forth. Okay, and this appears to be the new answer to it. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take this link, because I might as well do this. This where I put this no longer works. Show 6 more comments. Oh, where was it? I did put it somewhere. So this was a solution. This no longer works. I wonder if I can edit it in time. Here is the new solution. Paste that in. Right. Edit as of 2023. Here is a new solution. So at least that's a slight improvement, but basically that's what's got to be done. And I'd kind of like discovered this because I had to surf around and so forth. I can't remember if I didn't discover it from that site, but I didn't discover it from this particular string over here. But that's basically, you know, you can always copy and paste the error messages in, and that's kind of like what comes out of it. It didn't work, funny enough. I put it into one of these Claude AI as usual, like it scrapes, but they're very good, but they're not up to date. That's the problem with these chatbots, not chatbots, these GPT type of these pre-processed transformers, is that they're excellent for most of the common stuff, and the minute something is kind of like newish, they sort of like fail. So it didn't kind of like pick it up, and I think this is going to be the error. This is going to be the way to fix it. So what I've got to do now is do a pip install, but I don't do a pip install like this because, again, even this documentation, we have to remember that if you're in Windows at least, or actually it's literally in all of the operating systems, we have to do a Python -m, right, to make sure that it gets installed into the current version of Python, and then you can do this. Copy that over there, pip install. Then we can do this over here like that, and let's just run this. So now we've done it with this binary thing. Well, at least it's beginning to download. We'll see how long it takes. But whilst it's downloading, I guess we can just go back and have a look at the documentation, because over here it just looks like, so we've done from Selenium import WebDriver, and we've already got that here from Selenium import WebDriver, and this one is going to be the one that basically disappears. And then import chromedriver_binary. So when we finished installing, it's still installing, by the way, the success is still doing some stuff. There we go, it's installed. So that took about, I don't know, 30 seconds or so to do. Let's just go over. Then we can do WebDriver Chrome. So apparently it should just work out of the box. Driver equals webdriver.chrome. In our example, we're using browser instead of driver, but that's fine. But we can get rid of this little piece of stuff over here. So we will remove this, which should grey out the chromedriver manager. I'm hoping it does. There we go, it gets greyed out. It's a little bit slow for some reason. And also we need to make sure that we take this whole line. I'm going to keep this whole line in for now, because this is the new way of doing it. This is a 2023 vintage. 2023 vintage. Right. Everything before that will all stuff now that I don't know what even happened to the Chrome driver. I don't know what the implementation change was, but we're testing that this version works. So import chromedriver-binary. Now we don't actually do anything with it, so we don't do anything with it, so it looks like it's grayed out. So I'm presuming that it's just going to run now. Let's just have a little check and do an F5 to try and run our code. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm presuming that that import is sufficient. we're waiting for it to run. You can see over here that it's kind of like attempting to run. So I don't know what it's doing with, but we'll add an executable to your path. We'll add the executable to your path so it will be found. The file name of the binary is stored in chromedriver_file name. So, I mean, maybe that one thing to sort of like check that it's working or something is to chromedriver, or do, let's have a little look again just to see chromedriver file name. Okay, we just do file name is equal to chromedriver-binary dot, just to expose it, file name, kind of like just to like make sure that it works. Still actually waiting for it to run or do something. Message, session not created, Chrome failed to start, crashed. There we go. Fantastic. So that didn't help. I'm going to just take this error message for now and paste that straight into here, because we're like literally chasing error messages. It'd be nice if there was just one working version rather than having to create all of these like various things and look at tutorials. I went to the real Python website and like copied and pasted some code, and again it didn't work. You just want these things to work out in the bat. So here someone else has tried to do the same thing, and okay, they've done all of the options. Why is Selenium so hard to get working, and why do these things break after periods of time? Really annoying, actually. The error message, let me accept Selenium exceptions. This is all live, by the way, so this is kind of like what you're going to be doing if you, like, whenever you code, when these things actually don't work. This is like live solving. Selenium webdriver Chrome, import options. From tab crashed. Okay, that doesn't, I'm not sure that that necessarily helps. So what we do know is that this didn't work on its own, but one thing that I will do straight away, because I wanted to actually see this, is X. We'll just take this out here, and over here, like, well, even like before we even do our first example, maybe we'll just actually comment it out. But tab over here, we can do that, and then print F. I don't even know what that's going to give us. So I'm going to just comment this line of code out. That means that this function over here won't run, and then I'll press F5 to run it. Just see what chromedriver-binary gives back. But we're expecting to get file name, I guess. And okay, there we go. So maybe in that we actually have to put, so in here where we had executable path, I think it was, we would have to put F. So let's just cut that up here, X out of here, and put it into here, F. And this is, I wonder if that does get type hinted. Yeah, it is a string. It gets automatically type hinted to a string. I just, if it didn't get automatically type hinted to a string, I'll type hint it to a string. So I guess we'll try a second time to get this working. That's going to put the full path in here, so at least that's unambiguous, although maybe the path name won't exist. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. F5. The reason why I say that it might not work, oops, print off, let's have a look. Okay, my bad for that. And let's get our code running. Okay, there we go, it's a little bit better. F5, let's run our code. So, okay, please pass in a service object. Depreciation warning, executable path has been depreciated. Okay, and it's kind of like effectively hanging. Maybe I just have to put in the file name then. This is telling us, but this depreciated word here is telling us that modifications have been done. That's what I do know. So it's become like whatever code we had now is like the previous code has now become legacy because it's improved, because it was annoying to have. So it's not a problem because it's not like improving our coding as long as we can get it working. But it looks like I don't know if it's hanging at the moment. I'm going to run it without the executable path now. And in this WebDriver Chrome, default executable path. Int equals default ports, options, and so forth. I'm just going to try and put that in, but I think that's still going to populate. So I'll do this, open the brackets, the linter comes up. It's still going to populate the executable path bit, because if I put F in here, that is the so that will still probably create an error, the same message, but I'm just going to try it live. Yeah, it does, because it is expecting to get this executable path. So it shouldn't have to do that, but it's now going to throw a different error message otherwise. So I'm just going to have to go back to the docs, because we'll still get that same error message. I could run it and get the error message in the background, but let's just go back to the documentation, which was chromedriver. I wonder if this will just work off the bat on its own. We want our examples just to work, basically. Do we have to do anything else usage to use chromedriver? Just import chromedriver-binary. This will add the executable to your path, so it will be fine. You can also get the absolute file name of the binary here, okay, which is the chromedriver_file name, which is exactly what we've got here. Okay, and let's just go back here. We'll make a second example because the first example didn't work, and we will paste our code in here like that, and we need to tab this part of it. This part here we don't need, because we've already got the Selenium WebDriver and the chromedriver in the lines above. We've got them here. Basically, this is what I'm referring to, which is this one is already here, and the next one here is over there. It's that one, the chromedriver-binary. So we've got both of them already existing. So let's just remove that, and we can get rid of these 2 lines. There we go. Oops. Delete. Okay. So our next attempt, and so that's our first example, and then we'll do the second example, and we'll comment out our first example, because our first example didn't run. We're still trying to get chromedriver to work. This is the actual docs themselves. Not looking good because it's hanging, but maybe it's trying to do something, or maybe it's accessing the website or doing something. I mean, the example couldn't be simpler, by the way. It's literally that, with the extra 2 import lines. It's 5 lines of code. This is the actual example that's given in here. So you want to be able to take your example and get it to work. If it does work, just going to have a little check. Is there anything else you need to do? Please make sure to install Chrome or Chromium first and add the browser to the binary search path. Okay. So how do we get that browser in? Path, edit variable path. I mean, maybe it goes in here, and then environment variables, and then path. Presumably, is it something to do with this? This is in Windows. because there's nothing added to the path there. Downloads and installs the chromedriver binary for automated testing of web apps. The installer supports all of these. Alternatively, the package chromedriver can be used to automatically detect the latest chromedriver version required. Okay. So maybe I need to do chromedriver-binary-auto. Cancel, cancel, cancel. I just wonder how you get this full path in there. I wonder if I go to this one, maybe this one's better, but this is the chromedriver binary. This is pip install chromedriver-binary-auto. So to redetect the required version and install the newest suitable chromedriver after the first installation, simply reinstall the package. It looks a bit ugly. I might have to abort all Chrome drivers because there are other scraping tools that are available. Let's just go back to the code, although I'm sure the code will have, yeah, it has failed for the same reason, just not created, failed to start. I wonder if, I guess we can have an attempt at this. Please make sure to install Chrome or Chromium first, then add the browser. And add the browser to the binary search path. Copy search Google for that. I don't know what I did there. That's a little bit better. Okay, fine. Right. Okay. I wonder if again executable needs to be in the valid path. Please look at. Okay. I wonder, was that our error? No, we got a different error message. Funnily enough. Go around in circles on this because here we go. We get back to right back to this, which is completely annoying. Path to the chromedriver path. In your specific case. Back. Best way to install chromedriver on your OS Python. Let's see the date of this, 2021. Okay, this one is actually telling you pip install chromedriver-binary-auto, force reinstall, from GitHub, from Selenium. I don't know, like, because the thing about this is it's quite nasty in the sense that you're going to need all of these things in your requirements.txt file if you make a bigger package. So, but let's have a go at doing that anyway for the sake of it, since we are live here and we haven't got anything working yet. It still doesn't work. So we have to do over here, we're going to do this one, which is actually again Python minus m of it. That was our first one, and also we did this one here from an earlier one, which was, where was it, over there? No, it's over there. Just checking. Where's the actual pip install? Oh, that's Selenium. Okay. No. Okay. Let's go back. What should we see there? Not there. Okay. Get rid of that one because we don't need too many legacy things here either. Pip install WebDriver Manager. No, okay, it wasn't that one. Fine. And it's not that one either. Okay, fine. I think these were the two, which is chromedriver and chromedriver-auto. I'm going to try to do this. I don't know if this will work or not, but we're going to do the pip install chromedriver-auto. Do we now have to add something to the path or change other settings or something like that? I don't know. Let's just watch it running. Successfully built chromedriver-auto. Telling us a new release of pip is okay. I always get this new release of pip thing. Okay, fine. So we should be good to go. I don't know. Let's just have an F5 and try and run it. We've got this hanging thing again, which is there we go. So it does work. It's opened something and it's closed it. So, and then it's thrown us an error message. Message: this session is not created. The current version of chromedriver only supports Chrome version 116 with the binary package. So, okay, still really annoying getting chromedriver working because it did actually launch something and then fail itself. So it looks like I'll have to affect or change or muck around with the path. That's what it looks like. So these still, I was going to actually amend this in some way, but I'm not going to because this doesn't work. But these over here, I'll put these little comments because I'm going to amend the Selenium thing to get it to work, which is, I've got some stuff up here. So already we have to pip install Selenium, pip install WebDriver Manager, but it looks like, you know, I'm going to put the Python minus ends in front of all of them because that's actually what we're going to do. No longer works, and tried these but get error. Control S on that to save it. So that's where we got to, and the error message was, I'll just pull up the error message because we got, every time you fix something you get like one step further. Because we saw that it opened up this time at least. So this is the actual error that we're getting. Error. Paste that in there. Copy that and go straight back to our thing here and paste our new error in. Literally driving through the errors one at a time. Session not created, exception. This version of chromedriver supports Chrome version 81. What one did ours say it was? Chrome version 116. Okay, so you know the problem. This is a 2020 solution. I solved this type of stuff. Pip install WebDriver Manager. Fantastic, because we know that doesn't work. We know that this bit doesn't work. So all of these are like legacy. It's really annoying. And the chromedriver, the actual official docs, which is the most annoying bit, maybe Selenium. This is Selenium Python read the docs. I now have to revert to Selenium Python reading the docs installation. Pip install Selenium. instructions for use with Windows, install Python 3, start a command using command.exe. Now you can run your test scripts using Python. Okay. We've got Selenium. Okay, installing from Git, drivers, Chrome. This is like legacy documentation. That's the problem. I know that it's legacy because I visited this years ago. So, powered by Sphinx. The worst thing that you can have with coding and packages and modules, especially like major modules, is like legacy documentation that basically doesn't work because users want to users just want to get this working. And it should be a standard pip install, like for everything else that tends like NumPy or something like pandas. Just do a pip install and it works out of the box. So this one doesn't. Downloading the Selenium server. I don't want to do that either. Getting started, navigating local elements. Getting started. In theory, this should work. So if these docs were updated, this should pretty much work out of the bat, assuming that everything is running. So if we go over here and hit stop on this, I'll do like their third example over here. When you see all of these great videos, right? So our Selenium import, Selenium WebDriver, we don't need that one because we got that online. We can see where we've got it because it's here on line number 7. So that one we don't need. The same for the keys, we can see we've got it on line 9, and the same for the by. We can see that we've got that one on line 8. So those are not needed, and then we can just tab across there like that, which looks. It's calling Firefox instead of Chrome, but I don't think that's a big issue. But really what we want to have is make sure that this is working, but I think we're just going to get the same error message. So we've got all of the imports that are correct, and now we've got our third example, and this is straight from the documentation again. So third example, and we're going to try and run our third example. Our third example is copied literally straight out of the documentation here. It was a copy and paste from the documentation. It's even got the example explained and what you need to do and all the rest of it. Maybe I haven't got Firefox though, so let's just see. So it doesn't find a Firefox, so I'll hit that and do .chrome. There we go. I wonder if we'd try Chrome Edge or something, try and run that again, but I doubt that's going to work. That's not going to fix it. Oh, I did see something happen. So it did open up. Oh, but we've got this same thing here, which is tried to do something, but it failed. It threw us this exception message, which was the same one. This Chrome version, it's not found the right Chrome version. So this set of documentation on its own doesn't work. The above script can be saved into a file, then it can be run like this. No, it can't. Doesn't work. So I'm going to call this. I might stop this cast here because I'm just going to say that this is a Selenium fail. So some modules are really, really good and some modules don't work. I'm going to call this an initial fail. The reason why I'm going to call it a fail is because kind of like the first most basic case is simple usage over here. This piece over here, which says simple usage, for most users, you should be able to do your standard pip installs, and it should kind of work, and it doesn't. So I'm going to call it a fail because I have to muck around with it in some way. Other pieces of code that were once working like a year ago have stopped working, and I've got to figure out a way of how to get it working. So this I'm going to rename this live cast to Selenium Python fail and see if I can get it working, and I'll start that on a new cast. But basically we can see here that it's consumed a good half hour of time, and I reckoned if it's probably going to take me an hour or two to figure it out, how I can get it working. What I might do is actually, if you can post something in the comments somewhere, if you've got it working, like how to fix this, what is the basic template code that will make it work, what have I forgotten, like for example, was it not Firefox, did I have to install something first on the installation, did I have to go and do something additional to just the pip installs? For example, do you have to actually go to the driver's website over here? Downloading Selenium server is only required if you want to use a remote WebDriver. Using the Selenium with a remote WebDriver. Some Java stuff as well, which is great when you're in Python. I don't know. I'm not sure about this from Selenium. Driver equals, okay. Use the remote WebDriver. Let's have a little bash at this before I call it a complete fail. Just go back to our stack and then do /stack out and do def fourth example. And paste that over here. We've got the Selenium from Selenium import the WebDriver. So now we've got the WebDriver. Driver equals WebDriver remote. Okay, well we don't need the Firefox ones, so there we go. And that's our driver. I then wonder if we can just do this, copy that and paste this over here. So I've kind of like knocked this together now, and we're going to do fourth and final example, fourth example over here. Will it or will it not fail? So because we've now done this like little extra section of this WebDriver remote, so yeah, I'm just going to try to run it, see what happens. Maybe this is a way for it to work. It's hanging at the moment. Let's just go back here quickly if we can. No, still through the error message. HTTP connection pool, blah 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 blah. Right, so that one didn't work either. Okay. There's probably a setting, it might be quite easy, leave it in the comments. I can't figure it out initially, at least not from copying and pasting like, standard boilerplate code, which is a way that you want to kind of like at least get building, your stuff like that, just a working example of Selenium. So I literally want to get a working example of Selenium WebDriver. There we go. Run Selenium tests on the cloud, okay. But we're not in the cloud, we're on a local drive. Lots of stuff. There was a little video here. I'm not going to watch a video inside a video because that would be a little bit non-intuitive. But okay, local host, WebDriver equals new chromedriver. How Selenium works, all of these great explanations of how it works, but there we go. Let's have a look here. How to use Selenium WebDriver example. Okay. Okay, I'm not sure about this bit here, all of this. Test insert. This new Chrome driver. It doesn't even look like it's Python. Well, it's not Python code, it's some other code. Python tutorials and all the rest of it, browser stacks, none of this stuff works. Okay, So I'm going to call it a fail. If somebody knows how to get this working, then put it in the chat, the comments. It'd be very, very useful. If you do like this, because it does show, at least if you're going to struggle on Selenium, I've struggled for you for the past 30 or 40 minutes, so don't waste your time struggling. So if you did find this helpful, thumbs up, like button, and so forth. And let's see if we can get Selenium working. If anyone knows how to do it, or anything that I've done wrong, post it in the comments, and we will leave it there. Thanks for watching. Selenium fail.